The Curse of Oak Island. The team hits the ground running, uncovering multiple ancient coins. The Curse of Oak Island team wasted no time at all on last night's Season 11 premiere, unearthing a tranche of buried treasure in the form of ancient coins. In what might be one of their best days ever, the Oak Island team uncovered not one, not two, but four historical coins on the western side of the island. And they may have found a fifth in the sea of the northern coast. Rick Lagina and metal detectorist Very Drayton's started hunting on Lot 5, and they soon uncovered an ancient-looking coin. The pair were super excited because it looked very similar to the half-Roman coin found last year in the same area. That half-coin featured a distinctly Roman design and was dated between 300 BC and 600 AD and was found a mere 30 yards from the new coin. A short time later, Gary and Rick uncovered yet another old coin. They drafted in the help of Marty Lagina and Crate Tester, and very soon they had another two coins. Oak Island archaeologists confirmed coins were ancient to medieval in origin. Three of the artifacts were handed over to archaeologist Emma Culligan. The fourth was found a bit later, who managed to muddy the waters by pointing out that the coins had differing chemical compositions. Simply put, one of the coins had traces of copper and lead, meaning it could be Roman in origin, but another had copper and silver, so it was not Roman but probably medieval. And the analysis of the third coin suggested it was a French denier, which indicated a Frankish coin dating possibly as far back as the late 7th century. So what was going on? The guys called numismatist, coin expert, Sandy Campbell to clear things up. Sandy didn't take long to reach his conclusions. He insisted two of the coins originated from the Roman Empire. One was over 1,000 years old, dating from about 300 AD, but incredibly, he claimed the second was from the BC era. That makes this coin over 2,000 years old and most likely the oldest ever found on Oak Island. Sandy then threw a curveball with another coin. This one was a little unfamiliar to him, but he reckoned it could be from India and probably dated from the 6th to the 8th century AD. More ancient coins only deepen the Oak Island mystery. Over the years, the guys have uncovered coins from all around the world, including England, Rome, Portugal, and even China, but India is something entirely new and adds a whole other equation to the Oak Island mystery. The fourth coin, Sandy said, was from Tudor period England, dating from the 1500s. He said it had a distinctive portcullis engraving, which was unmistakable. A portcullis is a heavy grated gate-like structure that adorned the front of English castles and was considered a symbol of strength and security. The motif can still be found today on English pennies. There was one more coin-related incident from last night's episode. Tony Sampson went for a dive off the northern shore of the island, ostensibly to look for signs of a dam that may have created the swamp. But he may have found another old coin instead. On the bottom of the seafloor, Tony came across a round object with a hole in the middle, which was very similar to the design of the Chinese coin found on the island in 2020. Unfortunately, rules and regulations state the guys need a permit to remove artifacts from the seabed, so the potential Chinese coin will have to stay there until the team can navigate through the bureaucracy. As the sun rose over the windswept expanse of Oak Island, a familiar buzz of anticipation filled the air. For over a decade, Rick and Marty Lagina, along with their tenacious team of historians, metal detection experts, archaeologists, and heavy machinery operators, have chased a 229-year-old mystery buried in Nova Scotia's fog-shrouded ground. But this season felt different. There was a renewed sense of urgency and excitement. "We've got everything in place," Rick Lagina said firmly, his boots crunching on gravel as the crew gathered at the war room. "The permits are cleared, the equipment is ready. Let's hit the ground running." And run they did. Back to the money pit. Armed with the latest in ground-penetrating radar, seismic scanning, and precision drilling tools, the team zeroed in on a newly discovered anomaly in the money pit area. The scans had revealed what looked like a large chamber, possibly artificial, sitting just beneath a cluster of shafts previously dismissed as dead ends. "We may have overlooked something huge," said Charles Barkhouse, eyes gleaming as the drilling team prepped their borehole. While the drilling commenced, another operation was unfolding just a few hundred feet away. Gary Drayton, the team's beloved metal detection expert, was sweeping the western edge of Lot 5, an area that had produced a strange mix of military artifacts and trade relics in past seasons. That's when it happened. Holy Shamily! Gary shouted, his detector beeping rapidly as he knelt and began to dig with his trusted trowel. Within moments, he had unearthed the glint of something unmistakably metallic. Carefully brushing away layers of dirt and sand, Gary revealed a small but clearly defined coin. It was unlike anything the team had found before. First coin, then another, and another. "This is a Spanish cob," Gary said, holding the coin to the light. "Looks 16th or early 17th century. That's early, mate. Wait early." As the crew gathered around, the excitement was palpable. The find was significant not only due to its age but its location. Lot 5 had become a hotbed of historical intrigue, hinting at ties to both British military operations and now, possibly, early European explorers or even pirates. But the island wasn't finished giving up its secrets. Later that afternoon, while Rick and historian Doug Crowell combed through more of Lot 5, Doug's detector sang its familiar tune. Minutes later, he unearthed a second coin, this one noticeably different. It bore a Templar cross on one side and the faint, worn crest of a European kingdom on the other. "I think we're looking at two separate sources," Doug theorized. "Different eras, different origins. It supports the theory that multiple groups may have visited or buried treasure on this island." Within 2 days, the count had grown to 5 ancient coins, each distinct. One bore the unmistakable stamp of French origin from the 1600s. Another appeared Roman in design, which left the team stunned and skeptical. A broader mystery deepens. Back in the war room, the finds were lined up, carefully labeled, and ready for analysis. Crate Tester leaned over a high-resolution scan of the Roman-looking coin, brow furrowed. "If this really is Roman, it shouldn't be here. It predates every known European voyage to North America. It would rewrite history," Marty said simply, rubbing his chin. "But Oak Island has done that before." They sent the coins for rapid, professional analysis, and within days, the lab reports confirmed their hopes. The coins were authentic, each over 300 years old, and from different parts of Europe. One coin, remarkably, had a composition of silver only mined in a specific region of Spain known for producing treasure fleets during the golden age of piracy. The implications were staggering. "We may be looking at evidence that Oak Island was a hub of activity centuries before anyone thought," said historian Paul Troutman. "Possibly used by pirates, European nobles, or secret societies to hide wealth or knowledge." Echoes of the past. As news of the find spread among the team, Rick grew reflective. Sitting by the fire that evening, he flipped one of the coins over in his hand, its edges worn by time and tide. "I can't help but think of all the people who must have stood here, wondering if this island would protect what they left behind. And now here we are, centuries later, picking up the pieces." That sentiment echoed through the camp. The finds energized the day, prompting new strategies and intensified efforts. The team brought in additional scanning equipment to analyze deeper layers of the island's terrain. New grid sections were opened in the swamp and near the stone roadway, areas that had long been sources of speculation but yielded few hard answers, until now. And then, the biggest surprise of all, a sixth coin, buried deeper than the others, had strange etching that wasn't immediately identifiable as any known language. It appeared encoded, much like the infamous 90-foot stone from the original Money Pit excavation. If deciphered, could this coin be a clue, a message, or a map? Looking ahead. With each discovery, the mystery of Oak Island deepens rather than resolves. But for the team, that's the allure, the ongoing chase for truth wrapped in legends, whispered secrets, and tangible history. "This island continues to amaze us," Rick said in a season-end teaser. "Each year we get closer. And these coins, they're not just relics. They're road signs, and we're following them." As the camera pans over the foggy shoreline, with the sea lapping quietly against the rocks, one thing is clear: Oak Island is far from done speaking, and the Lajeunesse, along with millions of viewers, are more ready than ever to listen. The curse of Oak Island has never felt more alive. Stay tuned for what the next dig uncovers, and whether these ancient coins will finally lead the team to the island's greatest treasure yet.